Good afternoon. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. For those of you who are new here, feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you guys gain value out of this video, feel free to hit the like button. We're going to be going over 6 IPOs. We'll also go over one additional stock. And last but not least, we're going to go over an ETF that I wanted to shoot your guys' way and let me know what you think. All right, this is Patrick. You're trading with Prime. A little bit of housekeeping. The first thing I want to share with you guys is normally we are live here Sundays, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Of course, this is Super Bowl. I may be the only person looking at charts right now, so I apologize to any of you guys who were wanting to tune in, but I didn't think we'd get a lot of involvement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together this short little video for you guys, send it off to you, and we'll get into it next week. We'll go over the charts next week. So the first thing I want to look at is SNOW. You did see this IPO last year, and what we're looking at is a lot of consolidation. You had this run up back here starting on 11/16. It had a massive run up all the way up to $429. It has since then pulled back. This entire pattern that we see in here is consolidation, absolutely consolidation. And first thing I want to look at is, was this or is this a possible falling wedge? I believe it was. We did find support at the lows, and we've since then rallied off of there. I'm going to go ahead and put it on an intraday time frame. We'll do the hourly chart and just kind of show you guys what I'm looking at for this next week. I do see a consolidation in here. Again, like I said, you saw a little bit of support down here. It rallied up here. It's creating a flag. Let's see what happens if we can break out of this. Let's say we break out of, I'll give you a price, probably, let's say 306 to 310. If it can clear that area, I believe that we could see prices up to 325. And then if we can clear that, possibly prices up here to that last major pivot around 356, which is this pivot high up here. Let's do one day at a time. We are very close to risk, meaning you could go long with a stop loss just below 299. I know it's an expensive chart. I know it's an expensive name, but there are options. And if you guys want information on options and how to trade those or play those, I do have a, there should be a playlist in my library that talks about trade tools. So go ahead and check it out. So this is SNOW. The next one we're looking at is RKT. We love this name. I picked up a few. Right now I'm sitting on a few hundred shares. I added another 100 this last week. And we did have a breakout, and I believe this pattern is still in play. I think a lot of this selling in here this last week was due to Robinhood restrictions, which created more pressure to the sell side. But it looks like we're finding support down here around $21. And my line in the sand is probably just underneath $20. So that would be a good stop loss down in this area. I know we're pretty far away from that as a stop loss, but we did see this bullish action as far as this falling wedge pattern. It broke out of the falling wedge, and now we have since then back tested, and now we're putting in higher lows. So it's good to see what this chart does this next probably this next week to 2 weeks. Let's go back to the daily. And this is with the daily chart. I don't like the look of this, but like I said, like this action in here, I almost feel like it's just noise. I try to just not even look at that. Take that off of the chart completely. If there was a way we could just delete these candles in here, take that off the chart, because what we're looking at, what we care about is it had this huge up move and then a back test, and you can see the back test clearly on this down sloping trend line. So put that one on your watch list, RKT. The next one is YQ. And oh, by the way, we're running right now. If you guys go down and click the link below this video, we are running a special. We have a free, or we're just implementing a free side to our Discord. And probably this week, I'm going to start posting alerts on the free side as well as, of course, the premium side. So don't miss out on that. Feel free to, again, the link is down below the video. YQ, same kind of scenario we just saw in RKT. And this is why I like IPOs, because you can kind of let them play out. Let them do their run-ups, let them pull back, let them consolidate, let them break out, let it consolidate. What we're looking at right now is definitely bullish structure, a huge bull flag. You could either count it like this. One thing I want to just kind of narrow down here, though, is I don't like the lower time frame as much, and this is why. You have this gap down right here, and then it almost looks like it's creating a bear flag, which could still be possible, and it will break to the downside. So this would be my line in the sand. I'll give you a price of that. The low of this candle here, $12.30. So I would say a stop loss would be really good to have around $12. you know what, let's just call it 11.95. You could be long as in shares at 11.95 being the stop loss, but again, this is pretty high above that price area to have as a stop loss depending on how many shares you're buying. So just be very cautious. For something like this, I would want to see an actual breakout before going long. So I think it'd be okay to go long if price can get above $15.11. We'd be into a gap, and especially if we can break out above 19. Again, that's pretty far away. Let's see what this week does. Let's see if we can see any more consolidation in this name before taking a trade. XPEV. I'll try to keep this short and sweet. How about I speed it up a little bit? Let's look at XPEV. Same scenario. You had this massive run up, pullback. You had this EV. Looks like it's creating a tightening range in here where it's, see how it's kind of coiling up. So let's see what this one does. I'd like to see a little bit more consolidation in here. I don't know how you would draw these trend lines. Well, you could probably draw one like this, or maybe even, you know what's better than that is horizontal price, right? The low of this candle in here, and I'll give you a price of that low. The low is $45.36, and you can see we found support down in that price area. So since then, you could go long here with the stop just below that price of say $45. But I mean, personally, the highest reward, highest probability trade setup will be waiting for a breakout above 48.35, which would be above Friday's high. So let's see what it can actually do this next week. Big C. And let me know what you guys think underneath the video if you guys like to play IPOs. This week, you know, I figured I would go over some of the IPOs. We don't really talk about those much. One that I'm looking forward to is Roblox. I want to see how that IPO is, what it looks like. We played Airbnb. That was great. What was the other one we just played recently was, Dash. We played Dash as well. So feel free to leave a comment underneath the video, especially if you guys are gaining value. Hit the like button. It helps out the channel. But let me know what you guys think about these companies. Big C, the same kind of scenario. You had the falling wedge pattern in here. You can kind of see on the screen. And then you have a movement out of that price level, out of the demand area. It pulled back, creating a hammer candle, which sometimes can lead to higher prices, which it did in this case. And now it's pulled back from Friday's high, we will say, is resistance. And I think the reason why is you had a pivot right here. That was the last known pivot. So it's probably profit takers on Friday pulling back. Let's see what happens if we have any more down prices in this next week. Maybe it'll want to consolidate like this, or maybe it'll do something like this, and then giving us an area to go ahead and take a long trade. Again, let's see, and you guys will see my alert if I take this trade. Big C, and then let's go to Frog. FROG. This is another one. Same thing. You had this supply, or this demand area in here, and since then we've rallied off of that. We pulled back again. Hammer candle. It's been trading sideways. We just rallied back above all three moving averages. When you see the chart do this, where it trades through the moving average over and over and over again like this, I don't put a lot of weight in those moving averages anymore. It's hard to play moving average trades because a lot of times you will see price shoot right through them and then come right back down. So you got to be very careful with that. What would be nice on this one is to see a little bit of consolidation, maybe some inside bars. Maybe it'll have another move out of here to the upside. I do think there will definitely be resistance around this area of $69.90. Probably be some resistance in that area. Maybe you'll see it pull back like this, consolidating first before breaking out. If it did break out, that would be an optimal level to go long at, in my opinion, of course. That's it for the IPOs. Let's go into one more chart, and then we will do a surprise I have for you guys. Okay, so PCG. You got to be careful with PCG. It's not an IPO, but you have to be careful because anytime there's a wildfire in California, this chart is hypersensitive to wildfires. So any type of news that PCG gets as far as being sued, you have a lot of volatility in this name. One thing I do note that's a little bit different this time is you have this massive consolidation period in here. And out of a consolidation like that, when you see a breakdown of consolidation, I would have expected this chart to at least fall down to $10. The interesting thing with this one is it didn't do that. The interesting thing is that the buyer stepped in, showed up, and then brought price right back above that consolidation period. So you can almost say that first of all, you could say that this never happened. Price is still in the area it's been in. But usually when you see this kind of price behavior where it should have fallen down to $10 but didn't and rally back up into the $11 area, normally what happens is you see a continuation move out of there. And that is the normal thing. I mean, a lot of times you see that. The coolest thing about trading is that we don't need to do anything. We could just wait. Be patient, be patient, be patient. Set your alerts. Just wait for it to break out, because when it does, it's most likely going to be a big enough move to where you could get in at any point in here. Maybe the breakout, the back test, the resumption at any point in there, setting a stop loss back below this area, and I'll give you a price. Let's say a stop loss around 1160, depending on how many shares you went long. I'll most likely be using options, but I'll let you know whether I use shares or options in this one this next week or the following whenever I enter it. The last trade, or the last chart we're going to look at is RWO. And a lot I could say about this, but I was kind of thinking, and I'm looking for charts that are still kind of beat down compared to the rest of the market. You see the SPY putting in all-time highs, the Dow, the SMH, the QQQ, the transports, the XLF. Did I say XLF? Well, whatever. The financials. You see a lot of beat down areas, and this is something that is almost not quite emerging markets. I guess it could kind of be emerging markets. No, not really. So this is global real estate, and this is kind of why I like it. It's global real estate. And the other cool thing about this one, for one, it's the price. And you did see a little bit of a breakout on Friday. It wasn't a convincing breakout at all by any means. You want to see this really shoot up here. It wasn't much of a convincing breakout, but you do see how it kind of broke out on Friday. Let's see what happens this next week. If we have follow through, if we can get above Friday's high, I would definitely be willing to go long, because this is a wide enough consolidation pattern in here. This huge area in here is consolidation. So if you came off of the base right down here, and I did a quick drawing tool in here, and I said it was around $6, you could be looking at targets. If we measured from Friday's high and you went up $6, we'd be probably looking around $50. And then the interesting thing, if you look at the screen, follow my line all the way over to the left side of the screen. That lines up with this price area, which is one of the pivots back here during the coronavirus crash. And so that's something to kind of be mindful of, is that would be a really, really good target. But I'm going to hit you guys with one more thing to look at, and that is, let me pull up my chart here. You guys can kind of look at this. Go ahead and pause the video, look at this yourself as far as the dividend payouts. It's not bad. It's actually not that bad. 51 cents in December, paid out in January, or declaration was 116. It's really not that bad. So that is something to kind of, I don't know, take a look at, and if that makes sense for your guys' portfolio. But I do like every once in a while adding long-term plays, and this could be something that's considered maybe a good long-term play. One risk factor I want to share with you guys, and especially for all the bears out there who want to see lower prices in this one. One thing I'd be mindful of is you did see a high up here, $53. It had a huge down move. The question remains, is this a dead cat bounce and then we're going to have another move down? I don't know. I really don't know. But what we can do is we can manage the trade. If we went long, we could put a stop loss down here, down below support, or even horizontal support down in here. So two things to kind of keep an eye out for. Again, if you guys have liked this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you gain value out of it, again, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new here, and check out the link in the description underneath the video. See you guys in the next one.